Indeed, I'm by training a medical doctor. So I know exactly what lungs function is about. And there's a reason why we call our forests our lungs. And I know exactly that if your lung doesn't function, in every fingertip, you realize it. So if the lungs of our planet are not kept healthy or restored, the whole planet is suffering, everywhere on the planet. And therefore it's of course a common interest of all of us to restore these great lungs that we have on our planet. And if I want to focus on the Great Green Wall, well, last year at COP26 it was about pledging, about promises, about goals. This year is about implementation. So I just want to report about what we've done in that year. There are 3 points I want to look at. The first is funding, the second is trade, and the third is partnerships. Funding, we promised last year to fund the Great Green Wall with more than 700 million euros. We kept our promise. And this year we are well on track to be able to fund the Great Wall even with more than 700 million euros. This is important because it should not only be a promise, it should really be on the ground, the money. We have a great project together, for example, in Senegal, where we are restoring 30,000 hectares of land. We think together that's around about 2,000 green jobs that will grow there. And these are very practical examples for what we can do immediately to restore our green lungs. The second is trade, and that's for me very important. Because us as Europeans, we have to take responsibility for what the trade towards the European Union does. So if the trade that we are triggering is triggering deforestation, it's our responsibility. And therefore we have tabled a law that makes sure that we are no more letting products to the market that trigger deforestation because of their production. But this is only one side of the coin, because the other side of the coin has to be the producer countries. We are the consumer region, but the producer region, you cannot leave them alone, because we have to engage as a replacement for the deforestation products. You have to engage in sustainable production, sustainable agriculture. So all the topics that you were indeed speaking about, because we know that we need sustainable agricultural production and sustainable supply chains that are so important. This is our second focus. And the third focus is partnership. So very practical. Here tomorrow morning in El-Sheikh, we're signing 5 sets of forest partnership, 3 of them with African countries. It's Mongolia, Zambia, Congo, Uganda, and Guyana, where we make sure that this forest partnership is there to protect the forests while growing the local economy. Because we see that traditionally, the forest economy in some regions, for example, is used by 90% just for heating and cooking, to harvest the forest for heating and cooking. This is not sustainable. But, and the return is absolutely not what we want. But what we try to do with our forest partnerships is to focus and to develop in these regions other economic activities that are paying off for the local economies. So, for example, we are working with wood processing in Guyana, or forest products like resin and honey in Uganda. So, products that are sustainable and live off the forest. Or, for example, sustainable tourism in Zambia. These are very practical projects where we are looking at to really deliver on the ground, and not only to have the headlines, but really the concrete action on the ground. Last but not least, I'm very happy that you are creating the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership. And I can confirm that we are proud and happy that the European Union is joining officially. Thank you very much for inviting us to that.
Fabulous news. Vous avez entendu?